Welcome back to the Herd of the Line podcast brought to you by the AAW Network. You may be expecting to hear the smooth southern tones of Chapman right now, but unfortunately he's not available this week. Neither is Ollie, so it is just myself, Fletch, and Tom this week. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks, man. A little bit tired after staying up last night to watch the game, but that just comes with the territory of living in the UK, that we have to endure. But we endure it for the love of the game, and I will power through.
Okay, if there's one game a year or one Sunday a year that you should be more than used to this being a horrible late night, early morning next day
Mm,
for you. It is Super Bowl night, the one that you should be most used to.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Especially like given that you normally have a dog in the fight.
Oh yeah, used the last three
So
years had a dog in a fight, so
it's we'll get into that in a second though.
Mm,
But that's it. The season's over. Super Bowl finished around 14 hours ago-ish.
yeah.
You at the time of recording. So it's our job to break down what transpired in Santa Clara last night. But before we get into it, don't forget to follow us and the AAW Network on social media. Join our free to join Discord server, and you can find all the relevant links and information in the description of this episode. If you are on YouTube, they are right below our faces. And if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, you will find them inside the app you are listening on. There's only one piece of news, really,
Yeah.
that's kind of any sort of importance that Sam and I didn't cover on Thursday, and that's Clint Kubiak, the worst kept secret in the NFL at this moment in time. The only other worst kept secret in the NFL right now is Fernando Mendoza at number one to the Raiders in
Mm,
April. He is now the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after the Super Bowl last night. Seahawks
yeah.
OC. What do you think about it? It's a good hire for the
I
Raiders,
agree.
I think.
I agree. I think it's one of their first competent hires. You can tell that, there's the front office that is trying to see if they can make things right. Because obviously it's not gone well for them in recent times. I mean, the last 20 odd years, the Raiders have been beyond, yeah, very bad, basically, with the exception of a couple of teams that made it to the playoffs. They've been I would say in perpetual sadness. Um, and getting Clint Kubiak hopefully will bring them out from the doldrums and make them a team that can actually contend in the AFC West again. Because we want a competitive division.
Yes.
As much as I loved, beating every team with the Chiefs, I want a division that is exciting to watch, that is
Yeah.
competitive, that is, you've already got the Chargers, they've got their problems, you got the Broncos, their problems came to the fore. And then now you've got the Raiders looking to get back into the mix. So we'll have to see how the hire works out, but I think overall it's a very competent hire for sure.
Yeah, do you reckon this is the first time it's like you can see the effect of Brady in the front office
Oh,
and
100%.
someone with a
100%.
level head and knows what they're doing?
I think I think that um Brady saw Clint Kubiak put on a masterclass in the NFC Championship game against the Rams.
Yeah.
And then was like, okay, yeah, that guy's my head coach because he was cool in the game as well, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
he just saw it firsthand and was like, damn, yeah, this is the sort of guy I want in the building. And being who he is, he just has that sort of influence anyway. So yeah, a good move by the Raiders.
Yeah. I like to say you like coming from a division that has a relatively competitive division, you see the NFC West and that's bred the two AFC NFC championship teams, this the maybe Super Bowl champion. You might find out when we release it. Everyone knows what the result is. We know the Super Bowl champion is by now. Um, you look at the effect of what having a genuinely competitive division does. Obviously, one
Mhm.
year it might mean you're the AFC North this year, and
Yeah.
things aren't great for you as a division. But you could also
Mm.
be the NFC West and the AFC West should the Chiefs improve on last year,
Mm.
which obviously we all hope they do.
Yeah.
And the Raiders get better. It's that division's up there to be one of the best, if not the best in football. It has the
Mm.
has the option and ability to do that. Um,
100%.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an interesting hire. It shows, like I said, the pull. Pete Carroll was clearly nothing more than look, just stability. We need someone in the building for a year.
Yeah,
And
I think it just didn't work out for him. I don't think he was put in the best position to succeed with the roster that they currently have. Outside of Ashton Genty, I mean, it's pretty depleted. So, and Max Crosby as well. I'm sure that one of the first things that Clint Kubiak did was call up Max Crosby and be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna sort this out.
yeah,
We're gonna make a run of this, and we need you around like you are the cornerstone of this franchise and at this current moment in time,
yeah,
um, but to get him on board because otherwise, you need your best players on board, and he for sure. I mean, he was not happy with the way that they shut him down the last few days, few games of the season. He's a competitive guy, fiery guy, and I'm sure that he'll be hoping that Clint Kubiak can get the best out of this team so
yeah,
the team can actually be competitive. Otherwise, he will get traded. He will, unfortunately.
yeah. I mean, you have to have those cornerstone pieces of the franchise no matter what. And like, there are certain teams you're not in a rebuild really with the Raiders because what can you like? You can't tear anything down at this point.
No,
So
there isn't
you
much to tear down, to be honest.
exactly. So, but when you've got when you've got a Max Crosby in the building, that's an amazing foundation for you to start
Mm,
to build on already that you need to kind of you don't want guys like that out the building
no,
if you can help it. You really, really don't.
you really don't.
So look, that's the only real piece of news other than
Yeah.
the Super Bowl 61 logo's been released, the script is out. So
What is the logo? I haven't seen it.
I see. In fact, I'll get it up for you. I'll bring it up by
Mm,
the end of the episode, right? Because obviously, as everyone knows, the colors in the logo represent the teams in the Super Bowl. No matter how loosely they do,
mm,
apparently they always do. So
yeah.
I'll bring it out at the end of the episode, and you can be the judge of next year's script, right? And you
Yeah.
can tell me what you think the script is going to be. First off, though, we'll talk about the actual Super Bowl, Super Bowl LX, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara last night. It was a game. The game
Yep.
happened.
Yep.
You and I spoke off camera and said it wasn't one for the first time NFL viewer. It
No.
wasn't one for the casual. It was one of those games where I think if you were to introduce someone to the Champions League final who'd never watched a game of football before in their life and say, this is the sport, and you've got two of the best teams on the planet, and in the 70th minute, it's 0-0, 1-0 and it's a very cagey
I was going to
affair.
say it kind of if you're giving it to Champions League times, it would be like watching Liverpool versus Tottenham
Tottenham.
in the
Yeah,
Champions
yeah,
League final. It would be that game, that cagey like ends up being 2-0, but they score like right at the end as well. So
yeah.
um it
First
was that
thing and then
sort
the
of a
last
game.
thing.
But that being said, there was still the merits to it. It was still, some absolute great
Oh,
defense
yeah.
from both teams as well. Like I mean, if you look at the Patriots, I know offensively they were inept, but defensively, Christian Gonzalez, he had a monster game, like two incredible pass breakups, one in the end zone to JSN, and then the other one uh, with Donald throwing it deep to Rashid Shaheed. He had to put his hand up there because if not, if he catches that ball, it could be a walk-in touchdown.
Yep.
So yeah, there was some incredible defense, that was for sure.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, that's where I think you start. And you talk about the Super Bowl, sorry, the Super Bowl, the Champions League of previous, like,
Mm,
yeah, the game wasn't the most exciting in terms of attack and end-to-end football or anything like that. But what you can appreciate is sometimes the chess match that goes on within it
mm,
rather than, like you say, the games like that, they're not for the necessarily for the casual. They're
yeah.
not for the first time viewer. They're not for the ones who were tuning in to watch Bad Bunny at halftime. None of them are
No.
saying, you know what, I'm going to stick
No.
around for this exciting, thrilling affair.
Yeah.
Um, but for those of us who can genuinely appreciate, I think, a defensive battle, this was I said to you halfway through the second quarter, I think,
Yeah.
when you were like, it's lacking a lot of. I think the way you said it, it was more like obviously it's lacking explosive plays. It's not. It's
Mm,
lacking that kind of get you up out your seat
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
But we were both pretty much in agreement that like, but defensively, this was it was excellent. And to make your point on Christian Gonzalez, I think I had a picture ready to go at one point,
Yeah.
and that PBU
Mm,
over the middle.
yeah.
I was like, he
The
pulled
one, the
out
one
prime
going to Rashid
Buffon.
Shaheed. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, pulled out prime Buffon,
Mm,
prime Casillas,
yeah.
outreach as far as he could.
Literally
Um,
got like a finger on it to like
yeah,
that was incredible. Yeah.
and like it was just the athleticism, and
Mm,
I'd have been saying like he's got 6 months off. Any MLS teams looking for a keeper, sign him up, man, because he's got the
mm,
reflexes for it.
yeah.
Um,
Clearly.
but it was yeah, it was excellent, and one of the places you want to go to here as well is just how. Um, the Patriots, start with the Patriots and how much they struggled on offense because I think this is, let's get this out the way. Um, because this isn't the pretty one to talk about. Shut out
Oh,
in the first half.
yeah.
They go punt, 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 end of half. Um, First drive is 8 plays, 28 yards, which is just phenomenal. Averaging 3.5 yards a play. You go four plays, 3 plays, three and out. 6 plays for 15 yards. They were really struggling. I think at one point, I think they
At
were
one point, they'd had more punts than they'd had first downs.
yes,
Like
that was that, yeah.
at one point, I think it was 6 punts to 5 first downs. Like that was just atrocious.
Um, but it comes off the back of the fact that, and again, something we were talking about off camera while we were kind of setting up on some of our talking points was the Seahawks D line. And when me and Sam were
Oh,
speaking about it
yeah.
on Thursday, it was what the Seahawks have uniquely on defense that I think they can do better than any other team, definitely in the NFL right now, if not for the last few years. They can send a true four-man rush and generate as much pressure as I've seen teams who blitz,
Mm,
which
mm,
allows
mm,
you to
mm.
keep 7 men in the backfield, and those 7 men in the backfield are so smart, and they're playing
Mm.
certain. Some are play. Obviously, you're switching between some of the man and the zone coverages,
Yeah.
but they are so smart, and they have such a well-oiled but it's a complex defense that they all know their exact role within it.
Yeah.
That your receivers are clamped on. They've got no space. They've got no room. And if you are lucky to find one with half a yard on the man that's currently got him, 2 yards ahead of him is another man there waiting for him to take the ball. So it just goes to it showed like just what an insane defense that Seattle have put together.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, I agree. And as you said, they get so much pressure with four, but even then, even when those four, I mean, and those four wreaked havoc as well. But even when they're blitzing, their blitzes
Yeah.
is just so exotic as well. I mean, there was a blitz early in this game where Devin Witherspoon was just wide open and he ran through, managed to jump around a defender, and then next thing you know, he's meeting Drake Maye, one of the most athletic players I've seen, to be honest. Like the way he's just it was absolutely masterful. And they just made it that Drake May, he had those happy feet. He was trying to find something, trying to find a bit of momentum, anything, because one of the big talking points off this game as well is the performance of Drake May. Unfortunately, I know obviously it's only his second year, but there was points in that game where he was seeing ghosts. I mean, there was wide open guys. He should have hit Austin Hooper. That would have been a big gain. He missed that. The throws he just seemed very quick in his decision making. Um, and that was it sped him up,
Yeah.
which made it difficult for the decisions to be the right ones. And not to even talk about the interception, terrible interception that he threw as well, where there was
Yeah.
no Patriot in sight, giving the ball to Julian Love, as well as what, two fumbles, one of which, well, it didn't get counted as a fumble, it got counted as a interception return,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. No, no, no.
The one for Uchenna Nwosu.
That's what I'm thinking of. It was, yeah, interception return. Yeah.
Yeah, like because
It didn't hit the floor, did it?
it didn't hit the floor, so then when they picked up, it was an interception. So technically, I had two interceptions, two fumbles, I think as well. A lost fumble where the Seahawks jumped on the ball. Derek Hall had himself a game. Byron Murphy had two, I think two sacks. Derek Hall had two sacks as well. So that D line was absolutely, and if it weren't for that play that got called back um, late in the fourth quarter, they would have had seven sacks, which would have tied a Super Bowl record. So they were all over Drake May in this game.
Yeah. And I want to say one of the things there is, though, the Patriots' O line was a
Was
little
Swiss
banged up.
cheese.
It was Swiss cheese, right? It was that all. Oh, do you remember the video with security guard outside the stadium and he's just kind of going, like, he's barely, he's meant to be checking
I've
people and patting
seen
them
I've
down and
seen the
he's kind of
Drisky
waving.
one where he's wearing like the high vis and then he like goes back as if he's an offensive lineman. Uh
Yeah.
but he's
But
just like a turnstile, but I don't think
yeah,
I've seen
it
the
was
one you're
just,
on.
it was a really old video of the
Mm,
security guard who's supposed to be checking people and he's barely doing anything and letting people past.
mm.
Um, what's her name? Annie Agar put up the whole screenshot of the anyone who's on Twitter and doesn't block anyone. You get the thing that says you are not blocking anyone and put that up and said the
Yeah.
Patriots
I
O
saw
line
that. I saw
tonight.
that. Yeah.
Um,
I was following what she was saying in the game.
they were. I mean, like I say, Will Campbell is a rookie.
Mm.
Um, and as great as he is, he's still a rookie. And you come up against the defensive line and some of the like you say, the exotic blitzes and the things that the Seahawks defense are putting together. He was a turnstile. He got spun, moved.
So
He
did
was
the
a
other
very
rookie
moved.
as well. And this is why it pays to have an experienced offensive line.
Yeah,
Because him and then I think it's the center maybe or the right guard also was a turnstile. So or it was on the left, so it was the left tackle and
yeah,
left guard, which made it so tough for Drake May to be able to do anything as well because he didn't have any time to survey down the field, try and find
yeah,
like Keyshawn Booty or Carl Williams or even Stephon Diggs. So it got really sped up for him, and then the Seahawks just kind of ran away with it. Felt like, I mean, they couldn't get a touchdown. I was so happy to finally see a touchdown in this game after. I mean, even when they were 9-0 up, it felt like they were just going to win the game anyway because it didn't look like the Patriots were going to do anything.
yeah,
And then they scored the touchdown with Darnold finding AJ Barner. That was a big one. Um, and shout out as well. One guy I really, really wanted to shout out. Super Bowl MVP KW3, Kenneth Walker, a monster game from him, with Zach Charbonnet out. He's carried the load in these playoffs and he's had an incredible playoffs. Regular
yeah,
season wasn't so good, but then, in the playoffs, he's turned on the biggest stage. He absolutely dominated in this game. I think he had,
yeah,
was it 26 carries, 156 rushing yards, 30 odd, 35 or 36 receiving yards as well. So, 170 odd yards, and he won Super Bowl MVP, and he was the first running back to win Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis. So,
yeah. It was
yeah, monster game.
27
Yeah,
carries, 135 yards on the ground, and then two receptions for 26 yards. So that works out at just over 160 yards. So yeah, pretty much spot
yeah,
on, pretty much bang on where you were
yeah,
at. Yeah, it was fantastic. And in the first half, um, you look at you look at the fact that you go in they go in 9-0 at the half,
yeah,
right? So all 3 point scoring plays were field goals.
yeah,
So which, even then, the first points in the second half was a field goal.
Yep.
So just saying, by the way, football, kickers' lives matter. We
I was going to say
kickers,
Jason Myers has been lights out all season, like all season. I think this is his 13th or 14th season in the NFL. I think he was drafted the year after they won in 2013 or 2014. He's basically, I think that this is his 12th year, either 11th or
yeah,
12th year. But he's been the model, professional, and he's been incredible this year. He's been so accurate. I think he's got the most points, or I think he's or, like something like nearly the most amount of points in a season ever for one player or something ridiculous. Um, I saw it. It was like, or he was tied or something. You'd have to look it up.
I'll find it.
But yeah, he was great for them, and then that just allowed them to put the pressure on. And when it was 19-0, I thought he was going to be shut out at that point. But then a couple beautiful throws from Drake May, which was the agony and the ecstasy of it because he made plays like that, two incredible throws to Matt Collins, including for the touchdown.
Yeah,
Um, but then he also made head scratching mistakes with, fumbles and especially that interception. Julian Love was wide open all on his own to grab that one in. So yeah, lesson learned for the Patriots, and it's kind of what we said, or what I've been saying in the lead up to this game the whole time, that the Seahawks are a class above, that the Seahawks and the Rams was more or less the de facto Super Bowl. And I was telling you, Fletch, earlier as well, with the Seahawks, a few weeks ago when we did our playoff predictions, me, you, and Chapman. Um, I picked that the Seahawks were going to come and we're going to go and do this. We're going to beat the Rams,
yeah,
and win the Super Bowl. And I said Sam Darnold would be holding
you did.
the Vince Lombardi Trophy aloft, and he was. So there we
You
go.
did. I've never known someone so quick to be like, "Go clip the thing, go clip it." I said it, go clip it. This is this one for the bottom. No, and obviously, as I've said to you all, obviously we didn't do an episode last week, and as I said to you all, because we had a bit of a meeting, and I was like, things like that. If you see them and you see something and I've missed it, go tell me. I'll go get it.
Mm.
And I'm very, very glad that you exercised that right very, very quickly once you got something right. You were right. Uh, 2025, Jason Myers set the record for most points scored by any NFL player in an NFL season, regular season and postseason
That's
combined,
crazy.
with 206, including 17 in the Super Bowl. Excuse me, he's the only player to top 200 points in that regard.
That's crazy, isn't it? That just shows the professionalism, the, consistency, standard of greatness that he's had this whole time. And one thing you've always heard about the Seahawks team, at least you heard it after this game, and I heard it in the lead up to this game, was just the closeness that this team had as a whole.
Yeah.
The offense, the defense, the special teams. It's a special group, where they made special connections. And they had, a tremendous result with winning Super Bowl 60, and exercising those demons of, all that, 13 years ago.
Yeah. And I want to go back real quick though to just to mention a couple of things. I do want to talk about the Patriots defense and the fact that
Yeah.
they were impeccable.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And they were fantastic. And I don't want to sit here and just be negative about the Patriots offense and how much they struggled with the Seahawks team because it isn't about the Patriots struggling, it's about just how good the Seahawks was. Um,
Mm,
but the fact is that that Seahawks team had the ability and had the people like Sam Darnold. We know what Sam Darnold can do. We know how explosive Jackson Smith and Jigba is, and we also know just how good um Kenneth Walker is and how
yep,
important he has been. 2 points on that would be we've mentioned Christian Gonzalez and the
yep.
the incredible pass breakup,
Oh,
but
yeah.
as a whole, that Patriots defense kept putting Sam Darnold under pressure. At one point, I was getting worried, thinking he's seeing them ghosts again.
I know,
Um,
even that one of the first plays he made, I thought it was a pick six at first when he threw it. And the receiver caught it, but like in when he threw it in slow motion, it looked like it looked like the defender was going to undercut the route and then he was going to run it back to the house. Like,
Yeah.
so he did
Oh
put the
yeah.
ball in harm's way a couple of times, but at the same time, unlike Drake May, he didn't turn over the ball. The
Yeah.
Seahawks become one of the only teams to not turn over the ball in the postseason at all. Zero
Yeah.
turnovers, disciplined football, and that's what won it at
Oh
the end
yeah.
of the day. The
Um.
Patriots were ill-disciplined. On offense they were inept. On defense they played great, but it was only a matter of time until that dam burst,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and and that's what happened when they scored the AJ Barner touchdown. It just felt like it was all over, really.
Oh yeah. 100%. Honestly, like, some of that though is going to come with at the end of the day. Drake May's in his second season.
Yeah,
Will Campbell, and you mentioned a couple parts of the O line, the rookies. Some of that will come with the experience. Like the Vrabel's going to go back to, and they'll all go back. It'll be a hard couple of months, I guess. Um, for a lot of losing the Super Bowl's got to be tough. I wouldn't know. I've never seen my team even go to one, so I don't know what that feels like. You've experienced both of those things, so you can probably. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say it's like winning a Super Bowl's better. Again, I wouldn't know personally.
yeah.
Uh,
I would agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can't speak. I'm obvious, but I feel like I would understand that winning a Super Bowl is better than losing one. Um, but for that couple of months, it's going to be tough. Um, but I think that Patriots now say they can walk away. They were playing with house money when they got to the playoffs.
yeah.
Fair play to them. They made the Super Bowl. Is what it is. Um, Drake May will go learn from it. Some of those rookies will go and learn from it, and they'll be back. Ollie and I in particular have had nothing, never really had anything but good things to say about Drake May. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no, I
we've had
I
the
I still think he has incredible potential. I just
yeah,
think that the Patriots were just not well matched against the Seahawks in
no,
in
no,
in in this game at all. Like you could just see it
no,
early, and Chris Collinsworth was talking about it. If they can't protect Drake May, like this game is gonna, get away from them,
yeah,
and that's what ended up happening. Will Campbell turnstile,
yeah,
and I think on the first two plays, maybe Drake May got sacked. He definitely got worked on
yeah,
the first one, but but yeah, man, very impressive win
yeah,
from the Seahawks. Despite, and Seahawks fans and whatever, they're not going to care. Their team's won the Super Bowl. Like it doesn't matter
exactly.
how they win. I mean, they won dominant defensively, just like they did when they beat the Broncos 43-8. So similar type performance
Yeah,
from the new age. What they called the
Legion of
dark
Boom.
side is their nickname.
Yeah, we'll say
So we
we
had the
did.
Legion of Boom 2013, 2014, 2015. And then we've now got the dark side.
Yeah.
And yeah, they really live up to their name
Oh
because they
yeah,
make it real tough for the other team.
100%. But I just want to say, like, some of it can be chalked down to experience, and it's an experience that you're going to learn and grow from, and you take from that. But to mention again, Kenneth Walker, the only any moment that felt like it was somewhat explosive, if anything was going to happen in that first half, it was going through Kenneth Walker. And my favorite stat, I think, of the whole game was at halftime, nobody had more yards than Kenneth Walker. I think Sam Darnold himself only had like 80 something early 90s, and Kenneth Walker was on 90 odd yards. Um, Drake May was obviously not on very many yards. As far as the rushing goes for the Patriots, like they got nothing on the ground, absolutely
They got
nothing
like
on the ground.
27 yards or something.
Um, Stevenson got 23. Drake May got 37, and that included a long of 16. Ramondre Stevenson's longest was 6. Travion Henderson's longest was 9. But he was 6 attempts for 19 yards, and his longest was 9. So within those 5 other attempts, he was
Um,
getting 2 yards
yeah,
on
that's
average.
bad.
Ramondre Stevenson, 7 attempts, 23 yards. That's an average of 3 yards on the ground. Drake May, if say 5 for 37 with a long of 16. That's you're just getting nothing going on the ground because again, that Seahawks D line absolutely monstrous. Um, and again, the way they play is so smart that when you do start running the way play the DBs again start coming back down to the line and the way they quickly read what the situation is and then act accordingly.
Oh yeah, special shout out as well. It has to go to Devon Witherspoon. He's a
Yes.
young rookie in this league, and he was a monster in this game. As I
Yeah.
said, he had that blitz early in the game, just beautiful technique, rushing past, creating the space, getting to Drake May, and then he also got to him a second time where he caused I think he caused the interception, didn't he? Right? He knocked it
Yeah.
out of his arms, and then it was picked up, and then taken back for
It
the
was
game
yeah, yeah,
sealing touchdown.
Devon
Um,
Witherspoon knocked it out and
yeah,
Nwosu picked it up.
yeah, exactly. That was it. That was it, 100%. So he had a monster game. And the thing with the Seahawks defense and well, the whole of the Seahawks team is that they're still quite a young team as well. Yeah, they're gonna have to make some
Yeah,
choices this offseason, but some of those players are gonna want to stay because they've now won a Super Bowl. They've got a taste for victory, and when you get a taste for success, you don't
yeah,
just want to leave that for another situation. So I expect
yeah.
them to be back, being there and thereabouts. It's going to
Um,
be a different year next year, but the
like,
Seahawks, incredible season.
got a question for you. Do you think, because apparently this is a question you need to ask people now. After
Mm,
your quarterback goes and wins you 14 games in a season,
mm,
takes you on to the playoffs. I know last year a quarterback did it. Okay, granted, he didn't go and take his team to win a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Do you keep that quarterback on board? Because technically that quarterback is a free agent going into the summer. Now, if I'm not stupid, so anyone other than the Vikings, um, I'm not letting him leave the building.
Yeah, I agree.
So could we agree that the Seahawks, one of those decisions is going to be making sure Sam Darnold does not leave the building? Because on a couple of levels, one, he's just won you a bloody Super Bowl. On the other line, the whole team loves him.
Oh yeah.
Everyone loves him.
I mean, this is the thing. He just kind of you have to admire his resolve because it's definitely times where he's been tested in terms of not being a starter, seeing like the ghosts in New York, all this sort of stuff. And then
Playing
for
for the
him
New
to
York
have the
Jets.
resilience to then continue to believe in himself, continue to have that confidence, that utmost belief that he is, that guy. And he referenced it after the game, the impact his parents have had in supporting
Yeah,
him, and allowing him to live his dream and continue to persevere despite these struggles is just admirable, really, beyond anything else. Just so happy for Sam Donald to win a Super Bowl after all those doubters and everything, and he won't care about that at all. I mean, he might not say that he doesn't care about. I think he does though. I think he's like it's even more special to do it with this group because it's a group that believed in me, believed that I could be the guy to lead them. And
yeah,
he's what a leader he is. JSN talks about it. They all talk about it. That he just goes by example and just the consummate professional and just so happy for him.
yeah,
And the crazy that he is the first quarterback from that vaunted 2018 class to win a Super Bowl, before Josh Allen, before Lamar Jackson, before Baker Mayfield, and that's Sam Darnold hoisting that Vince Lombardi trophy aloft in the Bay Area, which probably
yeah.
sucks even more for the 49ers that
Oh,
one of
yeah,
their rivals has now won the Super Bowl in their stadium. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it was a bad day. I know a 49ers fan is also a Liverpool fan, and yesterday must have been a bad day for them.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I
We
have
don't talk
one.
about yesterday, yeah, we don't.
I'm gonna have one. I had one dog in one of those fights, and I enjoyed that dog. That dog had a good day, and I enjoyed reminding. Personally, I got ignored for about six until this morning, basically off that person. Um, Sam loved it because he just found
Mm.
it hilarious watching the 49ers. Granted, a division rival won a Super Bowl, but I think Sam loved watching a division rival have a
Win
division
the
rival win the
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl in
in
their
yeah,
stadium.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
literally.
one of the things is like you look at you talk about all the trials and tribulations Sam Darnold has gone through. The one thing you haven't mentioned is just simply playing for the New York Jets. Like that's the biggest trial and tribulation that anyone could potentially go through in their entire career. You spent 3 years with the Jets. You then he goes to the Panthers. He's then a backup in San Francisco. Um, which he did remind people he was like they were telling me, oh, you're the first quarterback from that class to go to a Super Bowl. He was like, hang on. I went to the Super Bowl with San Francisco in 2023. Thank you very much. Granted, he was a backup, but he went to the Super Bowl in 2023. Um, but I'm going to ask you this, Tom, right? Which starting quarterback got injured this year at the Seahawks so Sam Darnold could start? It's a trick question, right? Because there wasn't one.
There
Whereas
wasn't one.
last year in Minnesota, JJ
Mm.
McCarthy got injured, so then Sam Darnold could start. Sam Darnold got brought in to back up a rookie. Now, granted, that rookie, I'm kicking my own self here because that rookie was a national championship winning Michigan man, right? But the Vikings were that impressed with what they'd seen from the rookie, ninth overall pick, that they said, no, he's going to start. You're going to back him up. And it was only because JJ McCarthy got injured that Sam Darnold got the opportunity to start. If JJ McCarthy never gets injured, right? Who, Seahawks might not win the Super Bowl this year. They might not, Sam Darnold might not have gone on that run, would not have gone on that run last year. No one knows where he would be this year.
But there's a phrase, dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things.
Yep.
And that's exactly what has come here. You know, the Jets couldn't handle Sam Darnold, and neither could the Vikings.
No.
You know, they just didn't believe in him enough, or, you know, even after 14 wins. And I mean, Mike McDonald said it after the game, you know, how those people who judged him after those 2 games, you know, against really good teams, in the Lions and then the Rams last season, you know, they need their heads looking at, because, you know, he put together a 14 game stretch, you know, 35, well, I think it was 35 touchdown passes, something like that, to 10 interceptions. So he
Yep.
had a really, really incredible year, but it got looked over because of those 2 performances where, you know, the interior of his offensive line was literal Swiss cheese for, you know, Aiden Hutchinson to ball through. Well, no, yeah, no,
It wasn't Hutch because
it
Hutch
wasn't
was
Hutch
like
because of
broke a
terrible
leg.
injury. It was
Yeah.
more, who was it for the Lions?
It would be internal. It was the replacement. Damn it.
Not McNeil.
No, because Lynn McNeil was gone by that point, I think, because he was injured as well, because he got injured in the November.
It wasn't, what's his name?
Um,
Was it the one that retired?
I should Zadarius. You thinking Zadarius
Yeah,
Smith?
yeah,
I think it might have been. I'm
yeah.
not
There
sure.
you
Let me go
go.
double check.
It
Um,
could have been him, but anyway, the precedence lies
yeah.
that, you know, that he just overcome all that. It's just incredible, really.
That was it. It was a mix between him. It was a mix between uh
And the Vikings fans, they might
Zadarius
be
Smith
happy
and
for him, but
Mohammed.
they're deep down, they're like, why the hell did we ever let that guy get out of the building? But as I said, dysfunctional teams do
Yeah.
dysfunctional things.
I mean,
They fired their GM. You know, their head coach is, you know, in a very prove it year now going into this year, despite him being a great play caller and everything. You know, he needs results this year,
yeah.
otherwise, you know, something crazy could happen there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the Vikings have definitely be seeing that they missed the trick, seeing him hoist the Lombardi trophy,
Yeah. I think.
not with their franchise. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think there's only so much we can say about the Super Bowl. If you're listening to this right now, I promise you, like, no one, if you are listening to this and you've not watched the Super Bowl, shout out to you, man, because like you're doing the Lord, like letting us be the ones to break all this stuff to you, um, is truly an honor. But also, like, go and watch it, man. Um, it's so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that everyone listening to this right now has already seen the Super Bowl. You probably stayed up last night and watched it. If you didn't watch all of it, you watched most of it, and you've seen the rest already by the time you've listened to it. Also,
yeah.
it's Tuesday by the time this is out. Like this is a long
Mm,
time to go without finding out much about the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah.
Um, So like I say, anyone listening, I think you all know what's gone on. You've all taken it. You've all got your own thoughts and opinions. There's only so much we can break, and there's so I don't think we need to break down the game anymore. What I do want to mention is, and we do need to talk about it, and we need to put this down, and we need to shout about this enough because we can't shout about this enough. The United Kingdom has a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator in Adam Derde.
Yes,
So
legend.
unbelievably proud of that. Um, and shout out to Pro Football Ireland as well because like Michael McQuaid and all them like could not have been shouting that out enough.
Mm.
And taking pride in that, and it obviously we get lumped in with the
Shout out to
Ireland
that
gets
guy from Talksport. Do you know that guy?
which one?
The one that does the commentary.
Oh, Will Gavin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out to him
Um,
too.
yeah. So, but I say, but Pro Football Ireland,
Mm.
I get how frustrating it is for them to get lumped in with the UK, and Ireland is its own separate country and
Yeah.
does its own things and does its own amazing things.
Mm.
But they were shouting out about it all as much as they could last night, and it was amazing to see. And Sky Sports have obviously ran with the story, BBC are running with the story. Um, Charlie boy, I know you listen to this podcast. Knight that man now. We need Sir Adam Dede. It should just be done. It should be done before the draft, I think, personally. I don't care. I don't know what I'm pretty sure there's like a yearly routine and ritual that they have to go
No,
through at a
but I
certain
think
time
you're
to do
right.
it. But do
I
it
think
now.
this causes for, a break to precedent potentially if that's the case. Because, for him to do it and, people will be like, oh, we didn't call the plays. Yeah, but he was instrumental in putting that defense together, helping create those relationships. And Mike McDonald said it himself. He was talking about the owner and how one of the reasons he took the job out away from Baltimore was because he saw the vision that she had. Um, and then working with who he'd been working with, and then he also just shouted out Aiden Durden and said, AD, we couldn't have done it without him. So it was a big collective effort.
Yeah,
It was a there was some interesting play calling from Mike Daniel at times as well in this game. Like there was a couple of ones with the runs and what have you, but he still called a great defensive
yeah.
game as well. And Kenneth Walker kind of did the rest. JSN didn't have to do too much. I just got a couple of stats for you,
Go
Fletch,
on.
before we move on completely. So Cooper Cup has now joined Jerry Rice as the only wide receiver in NFL history to win an Offensive Player of the Year award and multiple Super Bowls. So that's just shows the greatness Cooper Cup as well. And then one other one as well that I made a note of that was crazy was to do with the Seahawks that they only trailed by I think it was 1 minute 28 seconds throughout this entire postseason, both times against the Rams. Other than that, they have not trailed all postseason, which is incredible. And I think the only other teams to do that are the
The fifth.
2013.
It's the fifth least amount of time in
Yeah, I was
NFL
going to say, I
history.
think it's like I think the Legion of Boom's on that potentially. I can't remember. There was five. You'd have to tell me the five.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Um, yeah. I had it a second ago, man.
God, my typing is terrible today. 2025 Seattle Seahawks only trailed in the playoffs for 1 minute and 35 seconds, the fewest by a Super Bowl champion since 1991 Washington. And it's the fifth fewest. The
Fifth
only
fifth.
four others that have had fewer never trailed in the postseason at all. That was 1991 Washington, 1977 Cowboys, 1973 Dolphins, and the 1971 Dallas Cowboys. Um,
Mm.
so you've got four who never trailed, and they were all, well, three of which were in the 70s, one was in the 90s. Um, and the next best was the Seahawks this year. Um, second, that well, technically it'd be third, but also sixth. I don't know how we work these things. Is the 1983 Raiders, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Oh
So it's
man.
like genuinely historic on multiple levels what they have done this off season.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
100%. And they'll be coming back for to go back to back next year. So we'll have to see how that goes. But a crescendo of amazing, weird, incredulous, downright strange at times NFL season
yeah.
where what we thought did not come out to pass.
No.
You know, both these teams I think were big underdogs going into the season to be in this position. So it's been a very tumultuous NFL season, but an incredible one too. And I believe the right team was the one hoisting that famous trophy.
Yeah. So next week on Hurdle the Line, we will be doing a 2025 season in review. I've got a couple of particular topics I want us to hit on for the season. Um, some may feel no, not really controversial to be fair. It's not quite what I want. But we have some interesting topics I think to discuss next week. But just kind of review the season as a whole. So we'll have that coming next week. Before we go, and I think part of that will be the discussion of neither of these teams were predicted to be Super Bowl contenders.
Mm,
Both teams thought maybe they might make the playoffs, maybe not, and if they don't, everyone kind of gets it. Um, so all that's to come. We've got that coming next week, and we'll obviously discuss that further throughout the off season. How we're going to end it though, Tom, is as I promised you at the start, Super Bowl LXI 61 in SoFi Stadium. The logo was being released. It was released last night on. In fact, no. Before we do, I wanted to shout out. Was it Maria Taylor who did the
yes,
Super Bowl presentation?
yes.
The first woman to present the Super Bowl trophy since 1992, and it makes. I thought it was amazing. I love Maria Taylor. I think she's amazing
I
anyway.
think this is great. Yeah, 100%.
Any link to this doesn't matter, I don't think. She deserves that opportunity. She absolutely deserves to be the person to do that. But the link is amazing, right? Maria Taylor and Mike McDonald both went to high school together.
Yep.
Both went to
How
the
mad
same
is
high
that?
school. So like being able
They also
to
they both went to the University of Georgia as well.
yeah,
So,
so I just think it was amazing to say something as niche as that. What a special moment I think that is just for both of them two as individuals to share that moment together. And I absolutely I thought it was if that was part of the reasoning by NBC to give that opportunity to Maria Taylor. No, she deserves I say deserves it on her own merit anyway, but that's just amazing. What that was. But anyway, sorry. So going back to Super Bowl LXI 61 in SoFi Stadium, the logo has been released. And Tom, we are going to be the first. No, we're not going to be the first, really, because it's been debated all day on social media. But we're going to get on this podcast now, and what you and I, Tom, are going to do is we're gonna predict the script, right? Have you or have you not double checked what this logo is before seeing this now?
I
Again,
have seen it.
so I'm going to put it up on the screen for anyone who hasn't seen it to hopefully see it now. It's on the screen. Um, It's interesting. It's a lot of water in it. It's like half water and a wave coming round, and then
Mm.
the top is like a sunset, orange going to like red, going into orange, going into yellow. Um,
There's only two teams I see there.
what two teams do you see there, Tom?
I see the Chiefs and the Eagles.
The Chiefs and the Eagles.
I see the green from the Eagles. and I'm taking the Raiders Chiefs. So yeah.
The mind sees what it wants to. I'm saying that's a if you are to go, I think strictly on colours. I
Do
think
you not think that looks like the Eagles logo though? That like weird green thing.
I think I get what you got, especially the way the Eagles thing comes round.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but if we're going on colours, I actually think the closest colour to that would be the Dolphins.
There's no way the Dolphins are in the Super Bowl next
No,
year.
I know, but we said that about the Patriots. Um,
Yeah,
um,
true, true.
I
I
mean,
mean, they're the ones that have set it up for it to be, two 4-win seasons in a row to then getting it all the way to the Super Bowl.
there are a couple of people I don't want to argue with, Tom. Those are the NFL and Vegas. Like I don't want to argue with those people. If they say the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl, the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl there, Tom.
Mm,
Um, but like I say, if you're going off colours, I think it's the Dolphins. Obviously, anyone with half a brain or somewhat of a working brain cell would tell you the Dolphins are not going to the Super Bowl.
yeah,
You're absolutely right on that point, though. Um, if Vegas say the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl, the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl. But anyone with a working brain cell would know that that's not going to be the case. Um, I see a bit of Bengals in there, maybe. There's some of that orange, but I think if you're looking at, um, I mean, the Dolphins, I could also see some of that. The orange, you could pick any of the orange teams apart from because of the way it goes through the sunset kind of colors, it hits even in the tiniest bit every kind of shade of orange. So you've
mm,
got the Broncos in there, you've got the Bears in there, you've got the Browns in there.
yeah.
I couldn't say that one with a straight face. Sorry, Ali. Um, you've got all the oranges in there. So I don't know. Eagles
Well,
is a good shout for
yeah.
logical followings off from the colours,
Mm.
but I don't think the Eagles will make it. I reckon.
No, I don't think either, but like, it hasn't been wrong for a little bit, right?
I mean, it depends what you mean by wrong. There's lots of different versions of shades of colours here. So that blue, that aqua, watery colour, that's pretty
Do
distinct. There aren't variations of that, but going from the red to the orange to the yellow, there's too many variations in
you
there,
know
and it's
what
not
it
a
could
proper
be
yellow.
actually? Do you know what it could be now that I think about it?
Go on.
Is it could be Rams Bengals.
Rematch of Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I don't know, it does
Rams
feel a
is a
little
good
bit
shout.
like that.
I can take some of that Rams from I guess the bluish
Yeah,
stuff that's going on there.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, I still think it looks more Eagles than Rams, but um,
it's closer
yeah,
to Kelly Green than it is Rams
yeah,
blue.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I think it's interesting. I can't. Um, Dolphins Saints. I can see a bit of goldy stuff up there at the top. I'm like, but I'm telling you now, if you were to put a bet on Saints Dolphins in the Super Bowl next year, you'd be a billionaire off a
Oh
couple of
yeah,
quid. Like
yeah.
I might do it to be fair, just for the crack. Um,
Or
why not?
potentially Dolphins Bears could be one.
Dolphins Bears is a good shout. You won't get as good odds on that one though,
No,
because the
no,
Bears
I
are at
don't think
least
so. I don't
somewhat
think
within a
so.
shout.
Or even randomly could be like Carolina Denver.
Ooh,
Never
what
know.
a weirdly interesting Super Bowl that is.
Yeah, it would be right. Would be.
Bo Nix and Bryce Young going at it
Mm.
in the Super Bowl. That'd mess with everybody's head, that.
Oh yeah, it would. 1,000,000%.
Amazing. Anyway, right. So I just wanted to that the logo's out. I wanted to share it. I wanted to see if we could come up with some early script ideas. If the Dolphins and the Saints make the playoffs, by the way, you heard it from me. You heard it here first. I'm gonna do the smart thing now. I'm gonna clip it as soon as I click stop on this episode. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna save it, and if it does come true next year, I am paying for promotion on this one, right? I'm
Yes.
paying. I'll get this. I'll pay whatever promotion it takes. Um, I should be. I should be expecting a contract from NFL Network and everything at this point.
Yep,
Um,
100%.
but then again, you can lock me in an asylum until then because no one in their right minds would actually predict that and think that was a real possibility. So, but yeah, appreciate it, Tom. That's it now. The NFL season is over. We're going back next week for the 2025 season review,
What are we
but
hurdling, Fletch, for? What about hurdling that Super Bowl?
we had to hurdle the bowl on Thursday. It's a bit on the nose. Super, and I think we've had an episode called Hurdle the
What
Super
about
Bowl
hurdle
before.
that Lombardi?
Hurdle that Lombardi. I'll take that one.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I need to double check because I think one of those two has been used. It's either Hurdle the Super Bowl or Hurdle the Lombardi has been used. So whichever one hasn't been used, we'll use that one.
Okay,
Um,
good. That's good.
so appreciate it, Tom. Hopefully, I'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Enjoy
100%.
the off season. Enjoy getting some of your weekends back. It's I'll end with the quote, my favorite Dr. Seuss quote of all time. Don't cry because it's over. Just be happy that it happened. I think I've probably butchered that.